I've been struggling with something for the last several months, and maybe some of you have been as well. Recently, there was news that was distributed that has confirmed the fact that Ravi Zacharias was living a duplicitous life. The person that many of us knew and admired and regarded as a great spokesman for the Lord Jesus Christ and for his public ministry and his writing and just being a great apologist and evangelist seems now to have been compromised by a personal, private failure in his life, sexually speaking. It's been shocking, it's been disturbing, it's been very, very hard to deal with. Having had the chance to get to know Ravi personally over the years of my ministry, from way back in 1991 and then bringing him to Utah in 1994 and then the big historic Tabernacle event in 2004 and then his last appearance here in 2014. It was just a great, great blessing to know Ravi, to know him personally, and to have that personal experience with him and to partner with him in ministry. So when you admire someone so much and you realize that there's a pretty gaping flaw in their personal life, it's very hard to deal with. I just want to be honest about my emotions. I've been very sad, very, very sad, because Ravi did not live up to what I thought of him about and saw him as. But not only have I been sad, I've been hurt. I've been angry, I've been disappointed, and maybe you have too, as you have admired Ravi's life and ministry, but now you see this level of incongruity that doesn't seem to make sense with the person and the individual that he was. But you know, as I've really pondered all this, I really feel a lot of hurt for those people who have found faith in Jesus Christ through Ravi's ministry and maybe now are wondering if they really made the right decision, or maybe Ravi wasn't who they thought he was, and therefore they have begun to doubt God or doubt their relationship with Jesus. And that breaks my heart, and it makes me feel very hurt for them, because I don't want them to make that decision. And lastly, I think I'm hurt for Ravi himself. This level of incongruity, this sexual immorality that was obviously a part of his life, is not something he lived well with. He knew it was sin. He knew what he was doing was wrong, but he gave him some level of himself, a level of permission, or seemed to let it slip by in a way that doesn't make any sense to you or I. But on the other hand, because we're all sinners, and recently I told somebody how messed up I was, and they said, "Welcome aboard. We're all on that ship. The good ship messed up." It doesn't excuse Ravi's behavior, but I just really feel bad for him. I know that over the course of his life and ministry, he must have deeply struggled with this incongruity, this sin in his life, where he failed to be the man that he wanted to be. And that's a lot of emotion that I'm dealing with, and probably that you're dealing with. So during difficult times like this in our faith journey, as we walk with God and we're disappointed and hurt by somebody, we always have to ask that question, what am I to do? What do I do with this information that Ravi was not consistent with who he said he was, and his life and his ministry were incongruent? What do I do with that? Well, I'm reminded once again that all human beings are sinners. Even great people who love God and serve Him can be vulnerable to and exposed to deep, significant sin. And I understand that. Paul, the apostle, understood that as well. He said, "O wretched man that I am, who will set me free from the body of this death? The good things that I want to do, I don't do. The bad things I don't want to do, I do all the time. What's to become of me?" So I think that we all can understand that sin is real. And it reminds us all to not put trust or hope in a human being, a fellow flawed, messed up human being. Even when they're a great pastor or a teacher or a leader of some kind or an influence or discipler in our life, we have to always remember that the messenger may be flawed, but the message is still true. And it's the message of Jesus Christ, this hope that Jesus lived, died, and rose again, that Ravi preached. And that message is true, no matter how compromised Ravi is now as a messenger of that truth. And I'm reminded as well that the truth is always the truth. Jesus said, "I'm the way, the truth, and the life, and no one can come to the Father but through me." And if that's true, that Jesus Christ is the God-man, the Son of God, who was also fully man, even though his messengers and those who proclaim his message can be flawed and failed, as many examples from the New Testament show and the Old Testament show us, the truth is still the truth. If Jesus Christ is the Son of God, if Jesus Christ is the hope of the world, then even if Ravi preached that message but didn't live it personally in his own moral life, doesn't make it less true. It's still true. The truth is always the truth. And those are two resolves that I make today, to not trust in people, not the messenger, but the message, and to remember that the truth is always the truth. So I've tried to share with you some of my own emotions about Ravi Zacharias' personal moral failure and sin. And I've also tried to offer my resolve on how to deal with it. Can I leave with you a word of encouragement, my encouragement to you? The reality is that it's very easy for all of us to sit in judgment when somebody else falls and sins. That's the easy thing to do. But you know, we are all flawed human beings. We are all sinners. We all fall short of the glory of God. And I know that when you fall short, you want the grace of God to be shared with you, the love of God, the kindness, the mercy of God to be shared with you. And so I want to offer that thought to all of us, that we would extend grace and mercy and forgiveness to Ravi Zacharias. And he needs to be forgiven for his sin. He's gone now, but we may need to forgive him so that we can move on. You know, I just want to encourage you not to just stay mad, not to just stay disappointed or hurt with Ravi, but move beyond that. And in the Bible it says that we're to keep our eyes on Jesus, the author and the perfecter of our faith. Who is the hope of every Christian? Is it Ravi Zacharias? Was it Billy Graham? Is it any famous Christian leader? No, never has been, never will be. The hope of every person who calls themselves a follower of Jesus, a Christian, is Jesus himself, the God-man who came and lived and died and rose again. And that's where our hope needs to always stay. So when you get disappointed, when you hear of leaders or people of influence failing and falling, love them, forgive them. Realize too that one day you might be that fallen person, and we don't ever want to shoot our own wounded. We want to take them to Jesus for forgiveness and healing and mercy and forgiveness. So I want to encourage you to process some of those thoughts as you consider how you're dealing with the story of Ravi Zacharias' personal moral failure and sin, as you continue to hope in the Son of God, who is the hope of the world.